mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts. How do we like our martial arts? We like them in Kansas City!
Wow, thank you, Casey. That was a outstanding intro, worthy of the UFC's return to Kansas City, Missouri. Let's be clear here, Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, Kansas. A mistake that people often make. What one Laura Sanko had to correct people earlier, which was a little confusing because she's worked quite a bit with Invicta FC, who does hold events in Kansas City, Kansas. Anyway, this is the voice of Alexander K. Lee for MMA Fighting. Welcome, everybody. I guess I'll be on hosting duties today. I'd like to let the we just got the link up for the show, so let's let this populate a little bit before we get down into the nitty gritty. But thank you for everyone who has tuned in so far. I am joined by the wonderful and probably very draft happy Jes Meshew. Wait, is that Jes Meshew or is this who is this? Who is this guy?
I had these because I got these for when we were going to do the 314 watch party and John Silva, except for I forgot them because I'm stupid. And so now they just live in my house. And yeah, fighting nerds, baby. Carlos Prates season. Let's go.
Well, yeah, if anything, the timing was actually perfect. If I'm not mistaken, was Carlos Prates not your... When we did a little ranking show recently, we had a segment where we talked about who do we think, and we'll talk about this more, obviously, as we preview Saturday's Kansas City main event between Machado Garry and Carlos Prates. Was he your top pick for Fighting Nerd most likely to win a title? Was it him or Mauricio Rufy?
No. I went John Silva.
You went John Silva. Oh, did we all agree? I think we all kind of
in fact, Carlos Prates was my last pick. Not as a disrespect to Mr. Prates, but not to tip my hand. I don't think he is going to win Saturday. It wouldn't shock me if he did, certainly, but I mostly view him as just like a super fun guy, and welterweight currently just has a plethora of other dudes. He's a little older, so I think it'll be tough for him to get to the belt, whereas like Kyle Baralho is right there. John Silva is shockingly close in a featherweight division that's actually pretty wide open right now. So Prates is the guy I'm the least confident gets into the title picture. But I hope to be wrong because he's fun as hell.
You know what? Let's take it to the people. I normally, I don't think I put up a good solid poll, a good firm, upstanding poll in the chat in a while. And let me do that here since, you know what? YouTube polls allow for 4 options. That is perfect. There are, other... Fighting nerd tangential.
No, we don't talk about them. They don't talk about those other people.
Yes, we do. We count Bruno Brazil and we count Karine Silva and we can count Michael Oleksiejczuk just coming off a win. But we will go with, I think, what most people would call the core 4. So let me throw this poll up here. Which fighting nerd is most likely to win a UFC title? And I understand that there's several people who may not be predicting Prates to win on Saturday, but even if he loses, that certainly doesn't preclude him. So let's put these names out there in no particular order. Carlos Prates, again, fighting Saturday. Mauricio Rufy, John Silva, of course, and Caio Borralho. So there you go, guys. That is a little poll in there. You can have some fun with that. A little more interesting than the usual, who's going to win Saturday's main event, again, which we can dive right into. I'm pretty excited about this card. I think, it's not huge on name value for sure. I'm not saying that this is going to bring in the casual fan. But real quickly, I'll throw out a gymnastics score. I guess as far as fight nights go, this has a degree of difficulty of like, I'm trying to consider finishing potential as well. Actually, it's quite a bit. Okay, it is a good card. I'll get deeper into the score. You know what? I'll actually go to you first then, Jed. Let's get the fart score first because I do actually want to dive into why I'm about to give my score. But let's go with you first. What's the fart score?
Okay. It's a very respectable 7 fights above replacement tussles.
Now wait a minute, Jed. At what point are there so many fights above replacement tussles that the card just deserves a Michelin star? Is there not a threshold? Yeah.
So in general, I've just decided Michelin stars will only be for pay-per-views, but if we are extending beyond, this is a Michelin star. It's 1 star. It's not 2 anything like that. But if you are in the Kansas City area, I would 100% be going to this card tonight. I almost went anyway. My sister was there. I almost flew in to visit her and go to this thing. But legitimately, actually, a great example of the Machulin system when it was supposed to be Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Certainly a fun fight in its own regard. I literally looked at that card and was like, I don't really want to take a trip to go there, even to see my sister and then do this. Don't. When this fight night got changed, I was like, much more interested. Still ultimately didn't go because of other concerns, but this is 7 farts, full Machulin star here. The whole main card, I think, is very, very good. Even with AK, I know we had some drama on the scales. Even factoring that in, I think all of the main card fights this weekend are very, very nice. They're not the best fight of this weekend because we've got something else to talk about later. And then the undercard fight of Chris Gutierrez, John Castaneda, I think is also a really, really good fight. I mean, that's like top 25 featherweights right there. So just high level stuff. Some other good moments on this card too. I think that Jocelyn Edwards even ranked?
Not in the UFC's rankings. Not in ours or the UFC. No. Chelsea Chandler is.
Chelsea Chandler. Oh, so that actually should be a 7.5 then, because Chelsea Chandler definitionally gets a half point for being ranked. So I mean, this could be up to 8, frankly, because that fight's not terrible. There's some other spots here. Matt Schnell is no longer ranked, is he? Or did I really just butcher this? No, Matt Schnell did lose his ranking. Okay. I didn't think so, but he was ranked at one point. This is a great card. Again, like you said, not super high on name value, but that's just the UFC in 2025. If you guys haven't checked it out, we did a promotional draft. We do one every year. This is our 4th year doing it. The core concept of that draft is who are the biggest stars in the sport. And it was really hard this year because the sport is certainly in a down period of stardom. This is the best we got, though, and it's pretty solid as far as that goes.
Yeah, I feel like the first time we did that draft, and yes, please check that out on MMAfighting.com. Check it out on the podcast network. We got audio and we've got a written component. I think the first time we did that, like there was and it was more round. I think we did more rounds too. I could be wrong. Maybe we still only did 7 rounds. But I remember doing it and going like, man, who am I going to pick? Like, there's so many good names. There's people I can't leave off. And this year, this is like, I guess the first time we did it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Now this year, it was like after 4 rounds of names, like doing a mock draft, I was like, who am I going to pick now? But like in a bad way, not as in I have so many options, but as in like I have to find 3 more compelling picks. So you guys will see. Maybe it got a little goofy. Tembo Garimba may have been drafted. I'm not going to say who did it. May have been drafted, but
dude, here's the thing, AK. We had one less team too, and it was still harder. There should have been. It should have been easier because we had, instead of doing a 5-team draft, it was only 4. There should be more names to go around, and it still really became like whoever after the first like 2 rounds were gone, and that's the trickle down of here, right? Like. You know, Carlos Prates is a rising name, and Ian Machado Garry is an established name, I guess, at this point. But like, neither of them are massive stars. But in the context of 2025, they're some of the biggest the UFC can offer, which makes this one of the better fight night cards of the year.
Definitely. Yeah, we want to be positive here. Like this is a very strong looking card. And by the way, just for the sake of the algorithm, you teased it, Jeb, but I'm just going to say it right off the bat. The second segment of the show, much of it will be dedicated to Mariusz Pudzianowski versus Eddie Hall. Mariusz Pudzianowski versus Eddie Hall. Mariusz Pudzianowski versus Eddie Hall. KSW 105. All right, algorithm.
That's a 3 Machulin star card right there, baby.
Algorithm. Do your magic.
Fight that is the best fight in MMA. I cannot wait. Oh, I'm so excited for tomorrow.
We will talk about it. We do have to talk about the UFC first. I think
600 pounds, AK 600 pounds.
Insane. That's a lot of a man meat in that.
That's like 2 Giga Chikadzes.
Yes, Giga. Yes, we should make a note. Good segue. We should make a note. Giga Chikadze, our lone weight miss of the evening, the morning actually. First time he's missed weight in his UFC career. 1 pound over, not like crazy, but still a little disappointing for a veteran, a guy who has a number next to his name, who's trying to hold on to that number. Because I know a lot of people are picking David Onama to beat him. And if Giga loses against Onama, you can be pretty damn sure he's going to be nowhere near the MMA fighting rankings. And he's currently, I'm saying, the UFC has him 12. So he'll probably drop out of there too. I would be very surprised if he's able to hold on to his spot. Just to give some people some perspective, the UFC rankings, he's ahead of Yusuf Zalal, Dan Ige, and Calvin Kattar. He could very easily drop behind all of them. Calvin Kattar beat him. Dan Ige just coming off a win. Yusuf Zalal is on a win streak. He really needs this win. Plus the weight miss, boy, bad look for Giga. But let's focus on the main event. Jed, as you said, two guys, like we have kind of a budding big name here in Ian Machado Garry. He's like entering, I think, the upper range of B tier MMA stars, which is a good place to be. He's certainly well behind Paddy Pimblett. I think Paddy Pimblett, of course, is like one of the, as far as non-champions go, one of the most talked about guys right now. Garry isn't there. His fights aren't usually as exciting. His trash talk is, I don't know, maybe not. He's not as active on social media the way Paddy is with the vlogs and everything, but he's out there, and he's certainly been selling this fight. Bless his heart. Big test for him. I guess we don't need to make a pick yet, but let's go with this, Jed. How important is this fight for Machado Garry? Should he win, are we talking right back there into the mix for a title fight, or is there too much happening at welterweight right now for him to be even one fight away? Is it still one more after this, two more after this?
So this is a great fight for him, is what this is, because this is mostly upside. There's certainly a little bit of a downside. If he goes in here and drops one to Prates, it's 2 in a row. Doesn't matter how competitive he was against Shavkat or how competitive he is in a defeat on Saturday, right? 2 in a row is tough. He's still very young, and the circumstances are really helpful. Obviously, the Shavkat fight he took on 2 weeks' notice. I don't even remember what the time. Short notice to accept a fight against the boogeyman. And to some extent, kind of the same thing he's doing here. Relatively short notice to step in against Carlos Prates, save this event against a guy who has fought 4 times, 4 first round. Actually, maybe they're not 4 first round finishes, but 4 finishes, 4 bonuses. Has sort of lit this division on fire in some respects. And so he's getting a lot of cred just for the like, dude, I'll fight him. I don't care. Guys behind me in the rankings. Sure, bet I'll do it. And so a win also elevates because he's getting that cred, who Prates is, what he's been about thus far in his career. But a loss isn't disastrous because of how young Ian Machado Garry is. There's still plenty of time to build himself up. He's now no longer really in the title picture with the loss. He'll have to actually build himself back up. Plenty of time to do that. I don't think he loses too much respect in a defeat to Prates. And so this is a really, really good fight from him for that perspective. It doesn't get him a title shot is the only thing. Like a win here, and I know that that's something he wants. He was out here drawing, I'm the guy, I'm the reason Shavkat couldn't fight this next weekend or whatever. Not next weekend, 2 weekends from now. So I should be getting the title fight. Nobody really ever would have thought they'd give him the title fight. This won't get him it either, but it does put him very short list. And so if something does happen, if he beats Prates and Shavkat gets hurt again, or he beats Prates and Bilal Muhammad loses or moves up, and it's, hey, we've got to put Islam versus somebody, and Shavkat still can't go. Machado Garry is suddenly very close in there. I think he's going to need to win 2 in a row to get there, but this does at least keep him firmly in the conversation with a W.
Yeah, and I think that's all you can really hope for. Again, he's coming off that close loss with Shavkat. This is like, he's doing a fight night main event, which is meaningful, but it's not like a pay-per-view spot. I think some people, might view that still as slightly more prestigious. Though again, Garry can win over a lot of fans here by putting on a show on one of these fight night road events, because these have become, I think, more meaningful again. Yes, we've had some questionable main events for some of these, despite the record-breaking gate. So, I think some of these are still considered not throwaways, but like not as significant in the eyes of the officials as they could be. But Garry does have a way of sort of amplifying his victories. So should he get one on Saturday, certainly it would be big for him. And I think you also made a good point that I don't know if a loss hurts either guy too much. But let's ask a similar question, though, for Prates, Jay, because as you just reminded me, Prates was your 4th pick of the Fighting Nerds as far as who could potentially win a title. Impressive performance against Garry. How high does he jump? Does he jump over Gian Silva? because it would be the biggest win, I think, for anyone. Well, no. I think Kaio's had some ranked wins already, but this would be up there. Biggest wins for this chip.
Yeah. So Kaio beat Chris Curtis, who was like 5 or whatever. Ian Machado Garry is currently 7, so this wouldn't quite be to the same level, but it'd be very, very close. If Prates wins, he might get a title fight. I still think not, right? I still think that the pecking order is Shavkat, Islam, depending on how all of that plays out. But I think Shavkat is still in the driver's seat, but that will depend on timeline. So my guess is it, but if Prates wins, I think there's no doubt about it. He is the next call if Shavkat can't go. Whereas if Garry wins, I think there's some doubt whether he is the next call in that circumstance. And it's possible that they just say, hey, Shavkat knee injury, he's out until December. We want Bilal to fight in September or whatever. Like Bilal wants to go sooner, let's do it. And so a win, I think, is certainly a bit more helpful for Carlos Prates. The Fighting Nerds revolution is upon us fully at that point in time. And yeah, if he beats Ian Machado Garry, I still don't think he wins the belt. So I'm not sure if I would like readjust my order that much more. But I mean, he's certainly getting right up there. And so he definitely elevates the Fighting Nerd rankings of who is the closest to get there.
I'm trying to remember where I had him. Oh, I also had him last. Okay, probably for the same reasons. Same reasons you did. Yeah. How far would I put him? Man, I'm trying to think.
I'd put him above Ruffy at that point in time.
Definitely,
still behind Baralho.
I might because I'm not thinking in terms of who's going to get to a title shot first. Because I do think he's a ways away. Even with a win, I think he's still behind. Yeah, like you said, Baralho and John Silva. But who could actually win it? I don't know. It really depends. This is really a better question for the post-fight show. So obviously we're putting a pin in this. Let's ease into our fight picks though, Jay, because I do want to ask, and also some of our, we always do some bonus predictions. Is this fight the front runner to be Saturday's fight of the night? Now, they haven't handed out a lot of fight of the nights this year, but stylistically, do you think this has the potential to be a really, really good, memorable 5-round contest? Or again, depending who you're picking, could this end up being a bit of a slog?
Oh, I don't think it's going to be a slog. Okay. It seems really hard to imagine the main event being a slog because Carlos Prates is fun. And Ian Machado Garry is often fun. Sometimes he won't be because he will prioritize win over fun. Carlos Prates is just not the sort of guy you cannot be fun against. The most likely chance for it to be a slog is if Garry has to go full MVP and be like, oh, I'm just going to tackle you. I don't know how well that's going to work. I think it's good and he'll have some success with grappling, but I think Prates is probably a little bit better than he's going to get credit for at defending takedowns. It's not like Ian Machado Garry is like a D1 wrestler. He's just a well-rounded fighter, but I don't think Garry gets enough credit for his striking in general. Prates probably better writ large, but Prates also absolutely can be a little bit reckless, can overextend himself, and Garry is like a talented dude. I think people perennially and critically underrate Garry because they do not like him for many reasons, both valid and invalid. But I think he can make this fun. This can be very fun, very competitive on the feet. And there will be some grappling, right? Like Garry will mix in some takedown, some part of that. But largely, I expect this to be a striking contest and pretty damn fun.
Yeah, normally I don't like to see the mixing of the martial arts, but I think it would be a little disappointing if Garry just kind of went in there with some single-minded game plan. I think we know Carlos Prates' game plan, though. Hey, we could be wrong. He might surprise us, but I think we know his game plan. But yes, I would like to see Machado Garry mix it up because he has a lot of potential to be a champion, and I think we've seen, as far as welterweight goes, even the history of welterweight champions, you have very few. What else I was to say? I don't know. I guess you would say Robbie Lawler, obviously primarily a striker, not really super well-rounded, but takedown defense. Matt Hughes definitely not a great striker.
Also hailed from a wrestling background.
Yeah. But yes, I would like to see a little.
But yes, Matt Hughes, a terrible striker.
Yes, that's probably, if you're thinking one-dimensional welterweight champions, he's probably the one that comes to mind. And a great champion, by the way. I'm not dogging Matt Hughes, but it was certainly a different era. His one particular skill set was truly outstanding. So, but Machado Garry definitely, I feel like, fits that newer mold. I think he fits the Kamaru Usman mold, the Bilal Muhammad mold, as far as being well-rounded. Not considered a stronger wrestler of those guys, of course. If you ask him, he'll tell you, oh, he's an amazing wrestler. He's an amazing grappler.
It's the greatest grappler in the sport, according to him.
Clears everyone in the gym, right? Hey, listen, he has shown good grappling. For the record, he
is a good grappler. Sure. That's an outlandish statement.
Yeah, just when I compare him to like Bilal and Kamaru, I'm talking about just in terms of
I saw him grapple Shavkat, and I know who won those exchanges.
Yes, I compare him as far as well-roundedness and fitness, not necessarily their pure wrestling ability. Well, let's get to it, Jed. We had a lot of nice things to say about both men, but only one can walk out, barring a draw or no contest. Fingers crossed, please. No shenanigans. Who's winning Saturday's main event?
Honestly, let's be clear. Shenanigans wouldn't even be that bad given the welterweight kind of hodgepodge at the top right now. Like, if this did get to something like that, they could just rebook it later and it wouldn't be that awful. We never want that to happen, but it would be much better than other times when something like this is a clear-cut number one contender match and tomfoolery occurs and now things are going haywire. But I am picking Ian Machado Garry with trepidation. Actually, I'm not. You know what? Screw it. I already bet Ian Machado Garry. So like that's where I guess my money is. But let's have some fun and let's continue riding this Fighting Nerds wave because it's way more fun. Like, right? If Ian Machado Garry wins, I don't have any issues with him. I know many people don't like him. I don't really care. So like won't upset me if he wins, but we can all acknowledge that it's way more fun that we do a post show and I get to come on here and I get to rock the Fighting Nerds glasses and put them all red in the mouth and be like, all right, boys, let's go. This is true fist fighting right here. You rip cigs, you fire just like terrible whiskey, and you take this back to the 1980s brand of fist fighting. Carlos Prates TKO round 2, baby.
That is a hell of a prediction. My goodness. I was like, who's the other guy who smokes a lot? I think he just had a rumored fight announced recently. Jekka Saragi? No.
I have no idea who else smoked. I only know Carlos Prates.
I think it was Jekka who who got a chance to talk to. I think Jose got a chance to talk to him at one point ahead of some road to UFC event that took place in Vegas or something. And
Carlos Prates is the man, and I will forever think of. I mean, this is up your alley, AK. I don't remember what season. One of the seasons GSP coached of Tough, and he brought in Jean-Charles Skarbowski, the like accomplished Muay Thai guy, which is basically the same background that Prates has. It's like. Yeah, he was just like a drunk dude who smokes 30 cigarettes a day, beating the shit out of these people. And George is like, he's really good, but he like smokes and drinks. And you shouldn't do that. So I'm here to root for Jean-Charles Carlos Prates Skarbowski.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Jean Carlos Prates. It would certainly be, I think, the most. I don't want to say fan-friendly because I do think Machado Garry is popular, but I am leaning towards the higher-ranked guy right now. I'm the boring guy. You guys know that. I love rule. I'm going with a chalk here. What are the odds, Gary? What is Gary at this point?
Let me look up our friends at FanDuel. They've stayed pretty steady. Our friends at FanDuel currently have Gary at a minus 138 betting favorite to come back on Prates plus 112. Damn. It's been basically that all week. It's really hovered right there.
And
that's a lot of respect.
On Tapology, it is pretty much a pick'em fight at 52% to 48%.
Damn.
But with Prates, about 90% of those people are picking it to win by knockout.
Oh, of course.
That's crazy. I mean, no, it's not crazy.
All he does is win by knockout. So if you're going to pick him to win, you know?
Yeah, 4 UFC fights, 4 knockouts. Is it him that they've all been bonuses, or is that Roofy?
Oh, all bonuses, buddy. Actually, I think it's bonuses, also true for Roofy.
That's wild.
But it's all bonuses. Actually, it might even Jean Silva missed weight one time.
Yeah,
so he might not have gotten bonuses.
Totally would have.
Oh yeah, that is in fact no. His first one against Weston Wilson, because it's Weston freaking Wilson, but he's on 3 bonuses in a row and definitely would have gotten one for clobbering Charles Jourdain, but for blowing weight.
Even Kaio finally got one, right? Didn't he finally get a finish and finally get one in somewhere? Am I crazy?
Kaio should have gotten a finish against Chris Curtis.
He's on back. He's on back to. He's on. You mean Jared Cannonier, I think, right?
Or yes,
he's on
Jared Cannonier.
He's got 3.
He got fight of the night against Cannonier.
Yeah, Paul Craig and Olex and his future Fighting Nerds teammate choked him up. Damn, this team is something else. Should I check Karina Silva and Bruno Brazil? No, I'm not gonna do that.
There is. Apologies, I do not remember who wrote this. Maybe it was Ben Folks. Or maybe it was Chuck Mendenhall. It's over at Yahoo. They did an interview with the Fighting Nerds team. And there's like, yeah, so the reason we have all these finishes and bonuses is we don't train to win decisions. We train to kill people. And it's just like real insane, weird shit where it's like, I look at animals in the wild and there's no decision wins between a lion and a gazelle. You got to kill them. And it's like, all right, that's kind of crazy, but I'm here for it.
Oh my goodness. Everyone should train that way, really. We're talking about making MMA fight again, fun again. That's really how everyone should train. But anyway, as I said, sorry, I'm going with Machado Garry. I'll say he does get to show off his D1 wrestling, his ADCC Combat Club level grappling. He's gonna wear Prates down. I think the smoking is gonna get to him, Jed. I think the cigs, I think the darts.
Legitimately, like if this goes into the championship rounds, it's just like, I don't know, one dude smokes Marlboro Reds. Like that's the other thing too. He's not out here smoking like Camels or some like soft. No, he's ripping Marlboro Reds at like a half pack a day. There's just no chance his cardio is not hurt by that.
Carlos has not gone to a decision in over 5 years at this point. So if it goes past the 3rd round, which I think it will, let's say Garry 4th round submission. How about that? You guys still want to see a finish? You'll get a finish. We'll get a Garry submission.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you may, Casey.
I'm more interested. The Prates, because you think Prates is the least likely to win a belt, or right?
That is
right now.
Yes. Of the Fighting Nerds, that is how I have him ranked.
But you also think that he's going to beat Garry. Right now, you have Garry ranked as the 4th best welterweight in the world. Will you put Prates at number 4 if he wins?
Yes, but Casey, so we're being clear. I'm picking Prates to beat Garry for funsies. If like my life was on the line here, I'm probably not picking Prates to beat Garry.
Hedging. This man is.
Okay, we're doing funzy. We're doing funzy predictions. All right.
It's way more fun to do this and root for Carlos Prates than it is to root for Ian Machado Garry.
Wow, I have Garry. Casey, you and I have Garry pretty low in our rankings. Just do a little inside baseball here. You have Garry 9. I have Garry 10. Keep in mind, guys, this is UFC and all other promotions rankings. So I actually have Garry behind a few PFL people. I may be a little bit biased. People, again, I was PFL in the draft. So I have him 10. If you're doing a UFC only rankings, he's like 6 or 7, I would think, in my rankings. But yeah, if he loses to Prates, would I bump him behind Buckley? I don't know. I think he'd still be above Buckley. I don't know. Casey, what do you think? You also have him one spot above Buckley.
He'd for sure be above Buckley if he beats Garry.
Okay. So, no. I mean, would Garry still be above Buckley? Like, how much would you drop Garry? Yeah.
If he loses?
Yeah.
No, I'd
Garry
probably.
loses.
I'll put Buckley in front of Garry.
Interesting. Wow, this is costly.
You lose 2 in a row, even if like that's. I've always been of the opinion that losing fights should get punished. Not like severely, but like you aren't winning when other people are winning. You should probably take some level of a drop off unless you have a direct win over the guy you would drop behind.
Right.
And even that, I think there are extenuating circumstances, but if he loses 2 in a row, he's got to get docked some points.
Speaking of rankings, we actually have a UFC ranked individual in the co-main event. He is definitely out of our rankings by now, but it is the venerable Anthony Lionheart Smith.
15.
Number 15 in the UFC rankings has fallen out of ours. I would think even if we were only doing UFC rankings, I don't know if Anthony would make it in there. Though he has like one, he does keep the division is bad, and he has like he keeps getting like every the last few years a win here and there to just stay hanging on. He heads into his 60th and what is being billed as his final bout. Let's hope that's true, because Anthony Smith has done, I think, great things in his career. Probably made it farther than most expected. He was a random, like middling middleweight once upon a time. A middleweight, one might say, who was having a brutal time making that cut. And then as he just decided, you know what, later in his career, I'm just done doing this. Let's see what happens at 205. Got all the way to a fight with John Jones, of all people. Was a moral quandary away from becoming the UFC light heavyweight champion. I mean, there's a world where he says, I cannot continue after taking a legal strike from John Jones. I'm taking this DQ. I'm the champ. Let's sell a rematch. But integrity or something possessed Anthony Smith in that day, and he decided not to. But yes, he now fights Zhang Ming Yang in Saturday's penultimate bout. I'll say an actual co-main event for sure. I don't know. What memories, Jed? I mean, I'm getting a little emotional here talking about it. That last return of the Mac is going to hit like crack. I don't know how you feeling heading into Anthony Smith's last fight.
Oh, I don't care. No disrespect to Anthony Smith. Like we talked about this a little on BTL yesterday, and it's possible that I'm just of a different mindset. Like Anthony Smith just doesn't mean much to me as a fighter. He's had a very like a rock solid, respectable career. Like he is a professional fighter. If you translate that to other sports, this is a dude who hung around the league for 10 years, had good performances, made a couple Pro Bowl teams, etc. But like, he's not a Hall of Famer. Doesn't even have that many memorable, like really memorable performances. Like, what are the first things you think of with Anthony Smith? I guess the Gus win's like really good, but like the lead point on his byline is John Jones need him illegally, and he showed the Bushido spirit and didn't take the easy way out, and his bank account suffered for it, which is commendable. But like, he has never been like a fight. Like he's just a good fighter, good rock solid dude. I think that he has shown a lot of promise as an analyst, which is a little surprising to me. And I hope he doesn't get too, because he's also lately gotten a little more towards the like content takey game, which all of them are not very good at and make themselves worse. Looking at you, Daniel Cormier. Like he's just a good guy who I won't be like, oh, I miss seeing him fight. It's like, okay, next up. And that's, again, don't mean that as disrespect, just sort of, he never inspired major feelings in me one way or the other.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Because again, I am not gonna sorry guys. I'm not going to toot the Anthony Smith horn here and be like, oh, this guy should be a UFC Hall of Famer, blah, blah, blah. We should remember him as one of the best fighters of this generation. Like, no, that's fine. But that's okay. Like, I'm a believer in people, being the backbone of a company for a time, being versatile, being able to use in many roles. As you said, now he's a podcaster, but he, started doing that because of he showed he could do some, analysis for the UFC. He's good on the mic. And he's out there. He's available. He's a likable company man. I don't know how much cachet that has with fans, but it certainly matters to the organization, and certainly why this is being put in the position it's in, the co-main event of this bout, and why there's been a modicum of fanfare over the last fight of one Mr. Anthony Smith. I will say personally, I do have an affection for the man. He was my first interview, I believe, for MMAfighting.com. Not my first fighter interview ever. I've worked for other websites and done fighter interviews. I think he was my first interview ever. And let me say, I was one of the first to interview him before he became a ubiquitous Anthony Smith media personality. At the time, I think almost no one was speaking to Anthony Smith. So it was passed along to me. I had tip, I think, to Ariel. I think Ariel passed along to me. You know how it is. He has the MMA hour, but there's only so many slots in that show. And I think Anthony Smith's management at the time had reached out to him and, was trying to see if they could get an interview. And somewhere along the way, it came down to me. So thanks to Ariel. And I think this is a former manager now of Anthony Smith. Yeah, and we had a great interview. Anthony was talking, he really showed off his personality and how thoughtful he was. And I'm just patting myself in the back. I think I helped play a part in the building of the Anthony Smith media empire. So you guys can all thank me for that, I guess. But yeah, I've always liked Anthony. Good fighter, just a good story. Just like to see a guy grit it out, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a nice moment. I'll be emotional, Jed. I'll be emotional enough for the both of us.
I mean, look, if you get, some kind of Sarah McLachlan music going over a nice video package, maybe that'll bring something out. But like, I don't know. Anthony Smith is just like an overachiever, and I got a ton of respect for overachievers. Yeah. Because, I think we can all look at Anthony Smith and say about his career that he got the most out of his natural gifts that he possibly could have. Like, there are plenty of fighters who are gifted and do not reach what kind of we view their ceilings are or could be. I would not say that Anthony Smith was like preternaturally gifted, but worked really hard, developed a well-rounded skill set. Frankly, like, is vastly more successful than you would ever anticipate him being because of his ability to kind of make himself interesting on the mic, become an analyst and sort of a company man in that thing. Like, I would say 99 of his career outcomes, if you played it over and over again, he's not getting to where he got. He maximized himself, and that's to be commended. But okay.
He was...
I want to... Actually, that's why I want to jump in and say real quick. Anthony Smith, to me, is a Hall of Famer, not in the sense that he is the greatest overachiever, I think, ever in a high level in the UFC. This guy, he came in Strikeforce. Like, first of all, he was a mid-carder at Strikeforce at best, a mid-carder. He lost in the final Strikeforce twice. Got demolished by Roger Gracie. For some reason, they brought him back. He brought him to the UFC with the Strikeforce buyout. He's been around for that long. He was part of that whole deal. He got demolished in his first fight in his UFC debut, got cut, left the UFC, and then he lost his first regional fight to get back into the UFC. And then somehow he still made it back. And I think that's just an incredible run. And if you go even back before that, I don't think I've ever seen a guy who fought for a UFC title and at some point in his career, on the Midwest regional circuit, he was below 500. He was 4-6 at one point on the regional Midwest circuit. So for a guy that was just not good at all, he just proved that if you just try and just keep showing up to those practices, you can make it to some of the highest levels in the sport. And for me, that is why Anthony Smith is such a remarkable fighter. Yeah, he's not a Hall of Fame fighter, I get it. But I think his whole career and just overachieving and just effort, I'm just going to keep doing it. And he just kept doing it. Away. He just kept plugging away. And I think that's actually, to me, the most inspirational part about Anthony Smith. So that's why I've always been kind of a fan of him in that sense.
Yeah, that's crazy. Loses, like you said, that first UFC fight, June 2013. Loses to Josh Neer and it's a long time before he gets back to the UFC. He doesn't get back to the UFC till 2016, at which point he's still like relatively young. He's still 27 years old, but he's also 37 fights deep into his MMA career when he gets on the UFC run that we are now, that we talk about now, that we're his true UFC run. That's crazy. I mean, that is persistence. That is, again, just gutting it out. There's probably a lot of moments in his life when he could have quit, but boy, he's hung in there. Hopefully made a good amount of money. And now getting to really go out on his own terms. Now, it might not be pretty. We should tell people, Jed, anyone who missed No Bets Barred, you got a lot riding on this one. Jed, you do have a lot. You may not be emotionally invested. You are...
Oh, emotionally invested in somebody finishing somebody.
Yes, just under. Just doesn't go to a decision. Is that the climb bet this
week? Does not go to a decision. That's it. As long as this thing doesn't make it to the cards.
450, as long as 4:59 or earlier of the third round, you're good.
As long as somebody gets stopped in this fight, that is all we are looking for.
There you go. So you guys can play along. You guys can be invested too in that, and just watch him squirm as the third round.
I feel great about it. This is one of those where, like, if this bet loses, okay, man, that's just the game we play. But again, nothing but respect for Anthony Smith.
Yes.
We spent the whole time talking about, like, I don't think he's the greatest overachiever. I think there are other ones, but a really phenomenal overachiever and a testament to hard work and willpower. He's either going to get obliterated early or he's going to tackle Zhang and tap him, because Zhang is super fun and we're all like, oh, look at this. Here's a new light heavyweight. But Zhang also got a little bit of like, look at his pre-UFC record, and there's a fair amount of losses and relatively unproven. And he's gotten out of the first round like once in his past 30 fights or something insane like that. So like, this fight's gonna go one of two ways. It's just which of those ways it's gonna go.
This is a perfect co-main event. It's so fun. You've got some story going into it. You've got very likely going to get a finish. Zhang Bingyang, maybe they have something with him at 205. He's a spry 26 years old. Excuse me. He's a baby, and that's about the age Anthony Smith was when he got his second shot at the UFC. So there's some parallels going on here. It's a really, for a fight night card, a show on the road, perfect stuff. I will give our picks real quick. I think I'm just gonna go Zhang first round KO. Jed, I don't know where you going.
I mean, that is the thing that I think is by far the most likely thing to happen. But that's why I didn't bet it, because I just don't. It feels bad to be betting against Anthony Smith in his retirement fight. I just went with the doesn't go to decision instead. But push comes to shove, I do believe Zhang hits really hard. Anthony's chin it's not like all the way gone, but it's not remotely what it used to be. Not that he ever had like a bulletproof chin either. So I think Zhang finds one. And unless Anthony is just buoyed by the hometown crowd being the last fight and is carried to, some sort of Disney movie ending here, I think he's getting got early.
Yeah. And you know what, Anthony Smith, either way, it's all good. Either you go out in your shield, or like Judge just said, you get that nice final win, walk away. I hope, walk away, Anthony, walk away. And it'll be a good moment. So I don't think there'll be any ill feelings unless he gets like stretchered out. And I hate that I even just knock on wood that doesn't happen. I hate that I even put that into the universe. But there we go. Those are your top two fights, guys. Compelling stuff there. Let's quickly go over some of the other main card here. As we mentioned before, Giga Chikadze unfortunately missed weight. Pretty big fight with David Onama. Onama, a guy who had his own weight issues in the past, but looks pretty solid at 145. A lot of hype there. The always unpredictable Michel Pereira fights the sometimes unpredictable Abus Magomedov. So can you be sometimes unpredictable? And that's the fourth last fight on the card. Really good welterweight contest between Randy Brown and Nicholas Dalby, and then opening up the main card, another intriguing middleweight bout. Ikram Iliskerov and Andre Muniz. Ikram, like, our gauge for this guy is all over the place now. He went in super hyped against Robert Whittaker. No shame he lost to Whittaker, but it did kind of, put a slow to the hype train a little bit. And Andre Muniz, we haven't seen in quite some time. Amazing grappler, getting a little bit up there in age, but it is middleweight. You can kind of hang around. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes with Ikram. Jed, which one of these main card fights is kind of jumping out at you?
I mean, I could say others, but they're all kind of similar in that there's really an A and a B side to each of these main card fights. And even if the B side is somebody of note or somebody worthy, David Onama and Giga Chikadze. Giga has the bigger name, the bigger ranking. David Onama is certainly on a good run, quality fighter, etc. The answer just has to be, I think my guy. I love my guys. Michel Pereira, a.k.a. Demolidor. He's my guy. He's been our guy for a long time, a.k.a. Pre-UFC, Demolidor was our guy. He had some setbacks since moving up to middleweight. Has looked sensational. Yeah, he got Fluffy Hernandez in the last fight, but everybody gets Fluffy Hernandez. And he had a really good early start before Fluffy fluffied him. And that's just a bad combo of Pereira's never been like a cardio machine, and Fluffy is in fact exactly a cardio machine. And that oil and water just don't mix. But Abus also not like a massively impressive cardio destroyer out here. And so, they're both going to fall off at a similar rate. And Michel Pereira might do some wacky shit. And so I'm super in on it.
I was checking the odds. The picks on Tapology. 66% Pereira, which I think makes sense. I wouldn't count Abus out completely, but this feels like a Michel Pereira fight he can win. I will lean towards the. I'm sticking with middleweights just because, again, I'm intrigued by Ikram Aliskerov. this fight, even though both guys have like pretty good finishing ability, him and Muniz, it could get middleweighty. This could be some oil and water here, so I don't know what to think of it yet.
It could get middleweighty.
It could get very middleweighty. So yeah, my eyes will be on that. And as far as prelim bouts go, listen, one of my most anticipated fights is getting right out of the way. The women's bantamweight bout between Chelsea Chandler and Jocelyn Edwards. I don't know why this bout was even booked at bantamweight. Like, I know there's no featherweight division anymore. I understand. I know there's no title officially like in that division to be contested for. But like, why are we making these women do this? They both have had ridiculous trouble making weight. I think Jocelyn Edwards has missed 3 times prior to today. Chandler missed weight by 5 pounds in her most recent fight. Like, why are we doing this? Shockingly, I will tell people, both women made the women's bantamweight limit. Okay, well, 136 for Jocelyn Edwards, 134 for Chelsea Chandler. So
making a statement.
Whatever these championship weight and then some, whatever these fighters are doing, whatever changes they had to make to get to that level, good for you guys. And I hope they put on a great fight. But just a really weird match. I thought this was a recipe for disaster when it was booked. I thought like, oh, they're just assuming both will miss and then they'll make it a 140-pound catchweight fight or something. Like, that's what they're going to do. But Chelsea Chandler is ranked in the UFC rankings. Jocelyn Edwards was ranked for a long time before, like, she just could not make weight. We'll see where this goes. So my most intriguing, preliminary card fight right out of the gate. What are you eyeing on the prelims, Jed?
Oh, on the prelims, it's the Gutierrez-Castaneda fight. That's the best fight on the prelims. There's some other fun things going on there. I do think the main card opener, ranked fighter. So, that's relative, or that's relevant there. I like Malcolm Wellmaker as a prospect. It's weird to call him a prospect. He's 30, but like, he's pretty fun coming off Contender Series. But Gutierrez Castaneda, like I said, it's like 2 top 25-ish guys. Gutierrez he kicks you in the legs a whole bunch. Castaneda, pretty well-rounded, pressury game. Neither guy's going to get ranked after this, but it's a good weight class, good division for them, and they are some of the better guys in it. And so, yeah 100%. Though I do just want to throw this out because I discovered this yesterday on BTL. The prelim main event, Machinel, Jimmy Flick, both men have previously retired. And AK, I don't know if you know this, they both retired after fighting Cody Durden, and now they are back to face off with each other. Right. Real weird piece of trivia for you this weekend.
No, they have both fought since losing to Cody Durden. We should say, you mean when they initially oh no, Machinel has it. Sorry, that's right. Machinel was his most recent fight. Jimmy Flick did come back after retiring to Cody Durden, however, a couple of years ago. But yes, very strange. We also have the Cody killer on the card, by the way, Damon Blackshear, disappointingly not fighting another Cody. He's 3-0 against Cody's in his career, back-to-back wins over Cody's. I was hoping he would get Cody Garbrandt. It was not meant to be. He's getting Alateng Haile, but I've been telling people that Alateng Haile is like Mandarin for Cody. So I'm going to keep this gimmick alive.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I mean, who's going to call me on it? You guys in the comments?
Definitely has a name for Cody.
Right?
Absolutely. That's a long-standing Western name that they needed to have translated.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. And I apologize to anyone I'm offending with this very dumb joke.
No, this is a great joke. This is A+ stuff, man.
I need this Cody killer gimmick to live. But hey, pretty quick turnaround for Damon. So maybe that Garbrandt fight could still happen
very quick
this year.
turnaround.
I don't know.
Like 4 weeks or something insane for him.
Who's getting bonuses, Jed? Who's getting bonuses?
Oh, I didn't see. This is like when I've been hosting, I think of these things. I didn't. Yes. So you're catching me off guard. Well, as I'm on officially the Prates corner. We will say Carlos Prates getting a finish. We'll get a bonus, certainly. We'll go Michel Pajeda getting a bonus because he's my guy. No fight of the night. Let's do the quad bonuses again. That's just like they've been doing that a lot more, in part because the fights haven't been that great and there are being more bonuses. But as much as it hurts your heart, not mine, because I don't care, Zhang Ming Yang will also be getting a bonus as he dusts up Anthony Smith. And I'll go Malcolm Wellmaker. I think he might shock some people. Cameron Simon's a very good fighter, but I like Wellmaker, and it just seems boring to pick all main card fighters to get bonuses. So let's give some love to somebody on the prelims.
Well, I'm a boring person, so I'm going Ian Machado Garry for his stunning submission of Carlos Prates, Zhang Mingyang for his sobering knockout of Anthony Smith, and then I'm going to the prelims for the obvious fight of the night between Chelsea Chandler and Jocelyn Edwards. It's been a while between either of these women has been eligible for a post-fight bonus, so let's say they open the card with a banger, set the bar high right at the beginning of the night, and it's never matched for better or worse.
It's just downhill.
It's downhill
all from there.
You just get that high right away. So there's your fight of the night bonus, guys. We're not going to go to the questions yet. I think we should go to the main event first. I think
that's right.
To
There's a real main event this weekend,
which is not even actually the main event of the card is on technically. But I mean, we have KSW 105 in Gliwice, Poland. I know I screwed that up. I apologize to Polish people. At Pre-Zero Arena, this is a huge event. We've got a championship rematch between Adrian Bartoszynski and Andrzej Grzybek headlining the card. But of course, the card that everyone's really... Is this even the co-main? Is it not even the co-main? It is the co-main. I would hope so. I'm on Topology, and I think they have it wrong. It has to be wrong. Let's double check. Either way, it has to be
they have to have it wrong. Okay. As all week, I've seen it as the co-main.
Yes.
So this must.
Of course, we're talking about Battle of World's Strongest Men. Mariusz Pudzianowski, the 5-time strongest man champion, and Eddie Hall one time, but I mean, again, hell of an achievement to do even once, meeting in a matchup where, yes, the gentleman weighed over a combined 600 pounds. I don't know how much stone that is, but it's a lot. This fight is crazy. When we saw it, well, we were calling for it.
Awesome.
I think ever since Eddie Hall did the 2-on-1 fight where he memorably destroyed 2 other human beings at the same time, I think we all said, like, there's a pretty obvious fight he should probably take up. And he started campaigning for it. He started publicly calling out Puds. Let's make this happen. There was no way to stop it. We are finally seeing this matchup. This is just excitement. This is what combat sports is all about. This is sweaty men slapping meat, and I'm jazzed for it.
Every part of this is awesome. This was, as I said wrote many times, from the moment Eddie Hall put on 4-ounce gloves and power bombed a small man before sending him to the Shadow Realm, and then his brother or partner, whoever the hell that was in the 2-on-1 fight. This is the most anticipated fight I have in the sport. If I could make any fight in this sport, that is the one I would pick. And lo and behold, KSW does it. You see, they do make the fights fans want to see. Dana says that the UFC does that, but KSW is out here 600 pounds, AK, just cartoonish nonsense. Eddie Hall, like 70 pounds heavier and like a decade plus younger than him. Also, A+ producing here, Casey. It's incredible. The world's strongest fight. Like, it's so just good. It's perfect. And it's so perfect of what they've done too. It's not 5-minute rounds, it's 4-minute rounds. If they go to round 2, there's a 90-second break instead of the traditional 60-second break. It's just, they know what we're here for. And we're here to watch 2 of the strongest human beings who have ever lived fist fight each other. It's going to be so silly and so fun.
This is what keeps us going in this business sometimes, man. You know, I know people, listen, we gripe a lot, especially about like the grinding, like UFC schedule, but like moments like this come along and you're like, this is why I cover combat sports. Combat sports can be so fun and so silly and so dumb. This is all of those things. Someone, I hope, is getting knocked out. I don't want to set the bar too high, but this could be the most ridiculous fight since Kimbo and Dada. You'll never match.
Absolutely in play.
You'll never match the pre-fight hype. That's for damn sure. If Puds had called Eddie Hall like the Polish equivalent of baby nuts, I would have lost my mind. I would have just. I would have said, how much money as a KSW? How much money can I give you to make this fight happen like once a year? I would have said, forget making it happen once. The fact that you're giving it to us once is magic. How do we get this more than once a year? Like, this is just beautiful stuff. The only other matchup for Eddie Hall that we wanted was him versus Bank and No Money from Fight Circus. I think
obviously
that is, and
that's
that
still on the table.
Win or lose, The results of Saturday's fight has no long-term outcome on Mariusz Pudzianowski or Eddie Hall's careers. Whoever wins, whoever loses, they can go on to whatever fights they want. I still think Puds could lose. I still think he could fight Francis Ngannou. I just think it's in play. Like, who cares? That's Sky River Rain. You fool! That also would have killed me. If one of them had even broken out a "you fool," I would have just been cackling for a whole day.
It's the best, dude. It's gonna be so. Look, this isn't going to be high level mixed martial arts or whatever. Who gives a shit?
I hope it isn't.
They're just like, this is legitimately going to look like a Nature Channel documentary when like two bull walruses are fighting for territory on the beach and they just mash into each other with tusks, just like flashing everywhere. That's all this is. It'll probably last 3 minutes until they're both dead tired and gas out. And I hope so. It's going to be the best. I cannot stress enough how much you should pay to watch this KSW pay-per-view. Because also, legitimately, the main event, no one cares. Borchinski's actually like a good fighter. And like, that's a solid fight too. Even if that doesn't tickle your fancy, KSW, the production, everything is big. It's a stadium full of people. It feels, all of their events feel mega, and it's going to feel incredibly mega with 600 pounds. That's one Emmanuel Yarborough, AK. One Emmanuel Yarborough. If you split him in half and had him fight himself, that's what we're getting. It's going to rock.
KSWTV.com. Pretty sure that's how you watch wherever you are in the world. I was trying to find a price, but you know what? It doesn't matter because the price is not enough. That's the answer. For how much does it cost? Not enough. You are not paying enough to watch for the privilege to watch this fight. Okay, this is great stuff. We could even get a passing of the torch here because I think you laid it out beautifully, Jed. Not to say that again, Puz doesn't have to retire, but that this could be the start of a beautiful career for Eddie Hall should he decide to choose it. Because you said it on No Bets Barred that like Pudzianowski does not fit the profile of someone who would go on to have a decade-long MMA career. He took his first MMA fight when he was, let's see here. He was also, already...
AK, I do just want to say, it is 50 Polish Latoy. I probably butchered that, which is about $13 US.
Oh my gosh.
Is roughly what I'm looking at as far as a fee here. So I think actually with fees, you're probably talking $15.
I would pay 10 times that amount to watch. I would pay 150 American dollars.
I genuinely believe when I first was like, this fight needs to happen, I would pay $200 US to watch it. And I 100%. The amount, do you have any idea the amount of joy that Kimbo Dada has given me over the past decade? Easily worth the free I paid for it.
That was free.
200. That's when I watched Kimbo Dada. It was Bellator or whatever. It was whatever they were on at that point in time. So like $1,000,000,000, I would pay so much more than the $15 it's going to cost you.
Yes. And sorry, just to cap off my thought earlier. Yes. Hopefully this is the start of more MMA fights for Eddie Hall. I feel like he can be the spiritual Puds who, again, really hung around longer than anyone needed him to. You know, this could have been a cash grab of 3 or 4 novelty fights, fight Butterbean, go fight Bob Sapp, just make some money and that's it. And then go retire because he'd also had a very lengthy career again as a strongman. But he's like, no, I actually want to fight and I will help build this promotion. I will help build KSW, now one of the biggest promotions in the world. And God bless him for it. And maybe Eddie Hall can be part of that lineage. What was I looking up here? I was going to say.
Mariusz Pudzianowski has had more fights than like many UFC Hall of Famers. Like he was like the greatest strongman of all time. And then also just had a rock solid MMA career after that. We need to start talking about Puds as like one of the all-time great athletes.
He's fought since Conor McGregor's last fight, July 2021. Puds has fought 4 times, or sorry, will have fought 4 times come Saturday. He's 2 fights away, 1 fight away. Excuse me. This will tie him. He's 1 fight away from having more fights than Conor McGregor. I mean, think about that. It's weird. Such a weird thing.
Dude, he's got way more fights than Matt Serra, UFC Hall of Famer Matt. BJ Penn.
Randy Couture.
No, I can't imagine he's got more than Randy, but let me look this up. I guess I got Randy right now.
No, it's close. It's close.
Oh, it is close. I mean, maybe if he keeps going, he might pass Randy.
That's so weird.
It is, dude. What a career! I am old enough to remember. I was a fan enough. In 2009, be like, oh, this is funny. Like, yes, I'm in. I absolutely want to watch it. I remember Puds fighting Tim Sylvia, right? Like, I remember being like, okay, how long can this go on? And well over a decade later, 15 years plus later, still doing the damn thing. One of the greatest athletes of all time.
Is a real fighter. No question. Again, 5-time World's Strongest Man winner. So Eddie Hall.
Is it only 5? I thought it was 7.
That's a lot. 5's a lot, man.
I mean, 5 is a lot. I thought it was 7. It's 5 times. Got it.
Yeah.
Runner-up in 06 and 09.
Yeah, I think he's competed in many World's Strongest Man competitions.
One of the greatest athletes of all time.
I gotta let my heart rate go back down. Casey, can we go to the comments now? Can we go to listeners? I got to calm down here. I'm sweating. I'm actually sweating talking about this fight.
I'm so pumped. The only downside to this is I wish I was there.
Yes.
I wish I had just flown to Poland to be like, I'd like to sit cage ringside for this fight. Because Casey, in a ring, you love a ring.
Oh, and they're gonna go through the ropes. Those ropes can't handle. Those ropes can't hold them in. Oh,
not them.
I want to see. I want to see the whole flip over the top, rolling over, hitting the timekeeper's table.
We need the Big Show Brock Lesnar, like someone slams a guy in the floor and the ring the floor breaks and.
I guess will it be a ring or a cage? Because they've done both, so I don't actually know if it.
I think it's a cage. I think.
Yeah, boo.
I mean, they've definitely done events in both, so I just don't know.
So people, get your questions.
They should do it in a ring. It'd be a lot more fun in a ring.
No one remembers anymore.
In a cage, like they're just gonna wall wrestle and it's gonna suck. You do not. Ring. No one gotta.
But I just wanted to put no one remembers anymore. The poll at the top of the show, which fighting nerd most likely to win a UFC title? John Silva in a runaway, 45%. Unsurprisingly, Kaio, 26% in second. Carlos Prates just third, 16%, and Rufi 11%. Again, I think I agree with a lot of people.
If Prates wins, though, that will be the highest ranked victory of all these gentlemen you've mentioned.
It changes.
Easily the highest ranked win.
No, Jed said Cannonier.
Jared Cannonier was 5 when Braulio beat him, 5 or 6. So
but that is also middleweight. Well, that is also middleweight. So
you have at least on a
rankings. I'm operating under the UFC rankings.
Oh, UFC rankings don't count. They're not real. But,
no, they're not.
Yeah. Okay.
They will be soon. Once AI takes over,
it'll
be the realist ranking. I just give up at that point once AI comes in.
What? Okay, I don't want to get into that.
Ooh. Lazy Bads, thank you for the super chat. Off topic, but Fiziev versus Nacho. How jacked are we? Yeah, we just got this. I don't know if we've confirmed this on MMAfighting.com, did we?
I believe we confirmed it because it was officially confirmed.
I don't see. All right, I don't know if we've done a post for it yet.
Up yet? But
yeah, that's fine. But yes, Fiziev and Ignacio Bahamondes. I love this matchup. I love that. We always talk about squatting, especially lightweight, welterweight, a lot of squatting at the top from some of the veterans. Fiziev, I think, realizes no position to do so. Ignacio Bahamondes is coming up hot in this division. It's a great matchup. Winnable fight for either guy. Like if you're Fiziev, I don't think I think anyone betting on this should not view this as like, oh, this is a stepping stone fight for Bahamondes. We don't know. We don't know where Bahamondes is yet. He's still relatively early in his career. Like he's a young guy. So like the version of that faces Fiziev now. Maybe he can't beat Fiziev now, but this is a guy who I think absolutely could be a top 10 fighter in the future. So this is exactly how you want to test, I think, your up-and-coming guys. I'm super jacked. How jacked are you, Jed?
I mean, it's going to be pretty fun, right? Bahamondes is just awesome. Also, the visual is going to be great. Bahamondes is gigantic and Fiziev's a little guy. So that'll be good. I think this is... Bahamondes, I decided, is just... all of the Jalen Turner love that I had, he just absorbed it all. And so it's the transitive property of my love. And so Ignacio Bahamondes is now my guy. And Nacho he's going to win the belt because he's a big guy too. Like half the reason I like Jalen Turner, he's a big dude with a quirky, violent game. That's also like exactly a description of Ignacio Bahamondes. So yeah, he's pretty cool. Fiziev I've always thought was like should be a title challenger, dark horse, and hasn't been able to get over the hump. The weird injuries, can't seem to beat Justin Gaethje when he fights him. Just didn't quite get there as far as that, and I think it's probably too late for him now. But great matchup, going to be a super fun fight, and Nacho going to do big things.
You really think Nacho he will fight for a title? Is that your?
I
Is that
think
your guy?
he's going to fight for a title.
That's your guy.
I think he's fighting for a title.
That's him.
He's like 27 or something too. And lightweight is about to have a major turnover, is what is about to happen in the next year and a half.
We're kind of waiting for it. It's coming. Yeah.
It's been coming for a while, but now it is here because just all the old dudes now they're like prohibitively old. Not just like, ooh, it's Dustin Poirier's 33. You would expect him to fall off soon. It's like, no, Poirier's retiring. Gaethje's clearly near retirement as well. Chandler is washed. Islam's probably not sticking around fighting much longer like that. They're all leaving. And so a bunch of new blood's going to come up, and Bahamondes is really well positioned in that.
Chandler's washed? What?
Chandler is washed. I said Chandler was washed before the Patty fight, so we're clear.
Yeah. All right. Exactly. All right. Super chat from Create Like Mike.
Create Like Mike, thank you so much. Convo from BTL. I admit I did not listen to BTL this week. It sounds like you had some conversation about meeting MMA
fighters
celebrities
in the wild, like their
Interesting.
Pokemon.
Okay. Well, Create Like Mike says he met Ian, I assume Ian Machado Garry, at a beach where he talked for 30 minutes on MMA. Old school name, Luis Canet. Remember him? Luis Canet at a movie theater. And
I guarantee you most of the chat has no idea who that is.
I bet you they do. And the great Carlos Condit, my fave, at a gun range. That's really cool.
At a gun range.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
The natural born killer at a gun range? Get out of here.
I've never, I don't think I've, oh, no. Well, no, it doesn't even count. I mean, I think I remember flying back from an MMA event a regional show I watched, and then being, you see them on the flight. That doesn't really count as meeting them in the wild.
That's the thing. I've never met one. I've met them at the gym where or at events. I've never been like, ooh. Hey,
I do remember the first one I ever met was like Dan Mergliotta. I hope I'm remembering this right. I think he was like the first. I don't remember if he was the referee at the first MMA show ever in Ontario when it got legalized in 2011. I'm gonna throw a little back here. This event was called. I had to look it up. Knockout Entertainment MMA: The Reckoning at Casino Rama in Rama, Ontario. Headlined by Jordan Meehan versus Josh Berkman. How about that? Chris Hordesky fought in the co-main. Who else was on here? The Dina Massinger, people remember him. Jason Sago, I think later got a shot in the UFC. Misha Serkinov. So this was quite an event. And if I recall, I believe it was this event that Dan Mergliotta was brought in and was the biggest celebrity on the card. I mean, after the show, I remember everyone was kind of going up and saying what's up to him. So there you go. But yeah, no, in the wild, I don't think I have any in the wild experiences. Casey, you've met a lot of fighters, but a lot of them in the gym for sure.
No, the fighters I mentioned were all just out and about.
Oh, you mentioned. Okay.
Yeah.
Casey apparently sees them all the time.
You live in Fight Valley, though.
Yes.
The Fight Valley.
Yeah.
The Fight Valley.
The Fight Valley. People, that's on YouTube, by the way. You know what? I'm gonna tell people. Just YouTube Fight Valley, and when you see Holly Holmes' face, click on that link, and the 90 minutes of just gonna fly by.
And then watch This Is Cinema's episode about Fight Valley to get, the deep analysis, that you're craving.
I would call it the worst film I've ever seen, but I genuinely don't think it qualifies as a film.
It had credits. It had a title scene, credits.
I gave it a fist.
You did.
Shout out.
You sure did.
Shout out to all my. You know what? If you watched Fight Valley, not if you enjoyed it. If you watched Fight Valley, put a palm tree in the emoji in the.
Don't do it.
Right.
Save yourself the 90 minutes.
Got the Serrano sisters are in it.
Yeah, it's star-studded. It is star-studded.
Right. Well,
it is star-studded.
There are a lot of people in it, and God, it's bad.
What else we got?
Oh my god, we can't. Cyborg. Oh jeez.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah. Let's just. Okay, I'm moving on.
Another one from Create Like Mike. Thank you, CLM. New UFC liquor sponsor, 19 Crimes, was pushing Carlos. You think UFC lets him recreate his regional shot of liquor on top of the cage? What is 19 Crimes? I assume this is a liquor brand.
What is this regional shot? Did he used to do shots after he wins or something? What is that?
I feel bad. I don't remember this moment.
I also didn't know that 19 Crimes was a liquor. I thought it was a wine.
It is under a wine, but again, I don't know the difference between alcohols. I mean, I know wine and liquor are not the same thing. That's about
wine and liquor are not the same thing.
Extent of my, it's under wine. I don't know if it is a liqueur.
I know 19 Crimes as a wine, so maybe it's just a misrepresentation in the question. But
well, then, Michael, I see you in the
even happening.
I see another Michael in the chat. 5 palm trees up for Fight Valley. Thank you. Yes, 5 out of 5 palm trees.
Oh no, it's a wine because 19 Crimes is the official wine of UFC.
Yeah. Okay.
Official wine.
If you go to their homepage,
okay,
right there at the top, banner that says official wine of UFC.
Is Carlos Condit prominently featured? Oh, or do they mean Carlos Prates? I'm sorry.
Prates, not Condit.
I believe
Carlos Newton. Carlos Newton.
Sorry, it was the same guy who asked. Yes, Carlos Prates. I assume he had, if he did a shot of liquor and smoked a cigarette after the fight, I mean that would
just a glass of wine. Nothing really cools down the end of a hard day like a nice Pinot Noir and a Marlboro Red. That is the combo.
He goes all the way up to number 1 on the Fighting Nerds Power Rankings. Most likely to win a title, number 1. Sorry, Sean.
I feel like
down.
I feel like he'd be more likely to do a howler head with it, but I had no idea that the UFC had an official wine. So good for them.
I hope it comes in a box and he just brings that box and sets it up on the
No. 19 Crimes comes in a bottle. I've seen it out. I've seen it in the wild.
In a bottle.
Hey, 19 Crimes, send us a little bottle here. There's a lot of free promotion going on.
Wine in a box. That's where it's at.
I have pitched many times on watch parties, just testing liquors, like the sport-related liquors, and they've been like, "Jed, you can't get drunk in a watch party." And I'm like, "That's
why not
garbage."
Who said this? Who's they?
Look, the man, the oppressors. That's who. It's like, come on, let me just drink Funk Harbor rum and watch fist fights. Come on. Let that be my job, please.
I mean, that's usually me. I don't remember. Telling you this.
We believe in freedom. We believe in freedom.
Oh, we got some breaking news. I don't know if we want to.
What kind of breaking
talk
news?
about this on the show?
Is it John Jones, Tom Aspinall?
Yes, it is.
I thought from the sound of your voice, it was like it's definitely
Dustin Poirier just announced on Pat McAfee, Max Holloway Poirier for the BMF title. UFC 318, July 19th. So there you go, guys. You chew on that. Holloway Poirier 3. Holloway Poirier 3.
Okay.
What you say? July 19th.
July 9th. Did I say 19th? July 19th.
Okay.
That is what
July 19th in New Orleans. Right. So this could be.
Oh, New Orleans.
This is the end. This is the retirement. Listen, we're seeing one fighter retire Saturday. I believe, being billed as a retirement fight.
I mean, Dustin has said convincingly and repeatedly that he is done. He's fighting in New Orleans and he's done. So
okay, this was Dustin saying it on the Pat McAfee show to Mr. McAfee, calling it my last fight of my illustrious career.
So I would assume it'd be a 5-round co-main event with a title fight.
It's BMF.
It could be the main.
I think it's the main.
It could be the main.
Oh, they are saying headlines. They are saying headlines.
I say July's not going to be it's not going to be a pay-per-view. July 19th. So.
Oh, it's
John Jones.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. No, it is a pay-per-view. UFC 318.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was
sorry, guys. We really bungled this breaking news. Let me just clarify again.
Wow.
Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier 3 for the BMF title, main event, UFC 318 in New Orleans. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, we didn't have the music or anything.
Yeah,
we're caught off guard. Yeah. We're caught off guard.
Yeah, you got to message me. We got to communicate. I wasn't ready.
Yes.
Jeez.
Okay.
My keg wouldn't have done this right.
Definitely would have
so
done
Casey,
that right.
let's with this chaos happening, let's take maybe a couple more questions and then let us sign off here on this lovely show.
Well, before we take a question, how do you feel about that, guys? Just
Perfect.
my question: How do you like the fight?
Oh, and one thing I didn't mention. Hold on, this is at lightweight, I assume.
Sure,
I would be my
it
my
has
guess.
to be.
Or when
It
Who
has to
cares?
be. It is.
BMF.
It is.
BMF.
It is at lightweight. Yes. Okay. So, no, I was trying to see if I could keep Max Holloway in our featherweight rankings just to annoy Jed, but no, he's out. He's out.
It didn't annoy me. I was just like, this is dumb because it is dumb.
All right, what else we got?
We're moving. Oh, we're going to talk about
I
the
saw
fight.
one more.
Jed wanted
What's
to talk
there to
about the
say?
fight.
I was just going to ask
yes,
you, like,
I love
what
it.
do you think about the matchup?
It's perfect.
What do you think
It's
about
perfect.
the fight?
This is what you're doing with these guys at this stage of their careers. Like, will Max Holloway fight for a title again someday? Yeah, maybe. But who cares? Who cares? This is what the BMF belt is for. This is why you keep veterans like this around. I think we would all love it. It is 2-0 Poirier, is it not, in the series?
Sure
right?
is.
They were babies when they fought the first time. Poirier with the triangle armbar, right? Was the triangle armbar in the first fight? Beautiful finish. Oh, that was so awesome.
Holloway was like 12 at the time.
And then the rematch, like one of the 15 greatest fights ever. Like fantastic back and forth.
Second best fight of that night.
Second best, yeah.
I was at it. The second best fight of that night. Second best fight of the year.
Yeah.
The Izzy Gaslam card. Yeah.
Fights of the decade.
So good.
Second best fight of the night.
So yeah, this is a fitting way. I had no interest in seeing Poirier fight like Arman Tsarukyan or I don't know, Paddy Pimblett or any of this stuff. Like I would have been fine with it. I would have been fine with it. It just wouldn't have been like I want. We've said this so many times in the show. MMA is supposed to be fun, and this is a fun fight. This is a great send off for Dustin. Max also sent off the Zombie in a really beautiful way. I guess it says Max's lot in life. As long as he's going to hang around, he's going to be the one ushering his fellow veteran fan favorites into the great beyond, and that's pretty cool.
So right
I was kind of
have,
hoping.
we have Max at. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Gaethje 3. That felt right to me. Their first one was in Arizona or whatever. Second one, Vegas. Third one, do it at Dustin's home. They're split one apiece. That felt like right, especially with Max already being down 2-0. But I mean, it will be incredibly fun. So there's only so much to be upset about here.
Yeah, I like the Gaethje one more, but this will be interesting. So Max right now, we have him ranked at number 4. And Poirier is ranked at number 7. So it'll be interesting for a fighter to retire. He'll be the top 3, top 4 fighter in the
and retire with the BMF belt if he wins.
I guess so. Yeah, he would actually have a championship belt. Yeah.
Poirier. Oh no, he died. The first Gaethje fight was for the BMF title as well. Okay, that's right.
He lost it to Holloway.
Yes, right? The first one was No, he didn't lose it to Holloway. Holloway was for an interim lightweight belt.
When they fought,
Poirier Holloway 2 was interim lightweight belt.
I was trying to figure out if Poirier had fought for the BMF title already. I'm like, that's right, the first Gaethje fight. Yeah,
not the first, the second Gaethje.
The
first fight was just for fun.
Oh, I'm sorry, they forgot they did. I'm sorry, that was the second.
Yeah, when Gaethje clubbed him upside the head with a kick.
Man, Dustin Poirier has had a crazy ass career. I don't know if you heard about this. This dude's career is crazy.
It's really good career. He is a Hall of Famer.
Oh my God!
There's when it's no question. Hey, is Anthony Smith going to go in the Hall of Fame? It's like, no, he's definitely not. Dustin Poirier is going in both for like a number of fights and also just will go in independently.
Listen, Juliana Pena is going to make the Hall of Fame someday, and
she's locked in.
She's locked in. Dustin Poirier is on another tier than Juliana Pena. I don't care that he never won the undisputed title. I do not give 2 craps. This guy's career he's at one of the best careers of his generation.
Man.
Fantastic stuff.
We're going to have so much more time to talk about it, but Dustin's getting a damn, right?
Oh, yes. If we ever bring it back, 100%.
Okay.
Honestly, his retirement will probably precipitate it coming back.
Yeah, because I know we're talking.
Not even a question.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking. I mean, I don't want to get into semantics about greatest overachiever or whatever, but actually, I would put Dustin Poirier right there too, in the sense that
he's in the conversation.
In the sense that when he came into the UFC, when he came into WEC, he was just a guy. It wasn't like when he came in, we're like, you know what, I see a lot in this guy. He was just a guy that just kept getting better and better and better and better, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh crap, he's like one of the best in the world. So, absolutely love Dustin Poirier, but we'll have so much more time to talk about him. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Speaking of bringing shows back, Casey, I see one more super chat, which I feel like is relevant to. There you go, Mr. Senor Pepe. When is This Is Cinema coming back? Yeah, sorry, we just brought it up, of course, to talk about the magnificent Fight Valley, and this has been asked a bunch of times. Guys, we're just trying to find time to do these shows. We already do quite a few shows every week, like we have like regular shows. That is hard to kind of find time for these special features. Unfortunately,
it has to come back this year for the Jesus MMA fight.
I mean, when we saw the trailer for that, we're like,
we said
this is literally a sign from a greater power,
literally
telling us we heard you have a podcast where you talk about MMA movies. We made this movie. Please talk about it. So we'll hopefully find time for it. Because again, we want to do that. Of course, guys, we want to keep doing that. We want to keep doing Damn. There's just only so many hours.
Oh wait, that movie already came out?
Yeah, it came out. I think I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god, I did not realize.
You're shocked that it didn't make 300 million global and like it didn't make all these headlines. Yeah, no, I somehow flew under the radar.
Oh my goodness, I can't. How get tickets? Oh, there are no Atlanta showtimes for it somehow.
But yes, it's just a matter of time and frankly personnel. So when we get a chance and we can breathe a little bit, we'd love to bring some of these shows back. Thank you for asking. Thank you for everyone who checked out, who's watched Damn before, listened to Damn, watched Damn, listened to This Is Cinema, all that stuff. We're still doing odd features here and there. We may have one coming out. Hopefully you'll watch it. But I mean, it's there.
Or tomorrow.
Publish.
Well, no. I mean, we want to have a written component as well. But yes, within the next 12 hours, guys, you will have another original MMA fighting feature pertaining, perhaps, inspired by one of the events happening on Saturday. So please make sure to check that out. Keep your MMA fighting subscriptions and notifications locked in because it is coming soon. But thank you, everyone. They're playing the music for tuning into our UFC Kansas City / KSW 105 Pudzianowski versus Hall preview show. MMA is supposed to be fun. It looks like we're going to have a great time. There will be I believe we'll be able to have a Q&A before Saturday's show, probably around 5:30.
2:30 Pacific, whatever, at 3 hours for
5:30 Eastern. Yes, but don't forget, guys, we've got that. We've also got, what's the boxing? We've got Connor Ben and Eubank Jr. finally facing off.
Thus far.
I
love that we missed weight. Everyone knew what happened.
Yeah.
Did anyway.
Yeah, Eubank missed weight, but it's all good so far. It only costs about $500,000, and the fight is still scheduled to go through.
If he weighs inappropriately tomorrow,
it'll be fine.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
So, guys, a full day of combat sports action. Also, I gotta plug real fast. Make sure you check out Misfits this week, guys. Check out the John Wick Invitational.
Oh, it's so good. Oh,
insane.
It's so great.
Insane. It's free on YouTube. You can Google John Wick Invitational. Make sure you watch it. It's so good. It's so good. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. For Jed, for Casey, for myself, Alexander Kaylee. Thank you and goodbye.
Love y'all.